Hello, this is Amanda with Rise and Procraftinate, back with another Kat Scrappiness design team project. And today I'm going to show you a few ways to stretch your dies, which is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm starting off with the For the Trees die and the Love and Stitches shaker card dies. And so I just used a scrap of Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock for the Trees dies. And then I cut the For the Love shaker die out of that piece of cardstock. And then I cut another For the shaker, Love and Stitches shaker out of blue cardstock as well. So now I've got those two pieces. And then I'm going to do some ink blending on both. So I'm starting off with a Salty Ocean. I'm just going to blend from the top. I'm kind of making a winter sky, night sky, however you want to look at it. I'm just going to blend that a little bit from the top down, and not going to go all the way down because, well, one, the trees are going to cover that, the snow and the trees, and two, I wanted to leave some of the blue cardstock on there as well. And then I'm coming in with Prize Ribbon and just going to do that just a little bit on the top just to darken that up a little bit, because the Salty Ocean matched the blue cardstock pretty well. I mean, it was a little bit darker, but not much. So I'm just putting my trees over top just to see if I like that, and I do. So I'm now just going to clean up my workspace, and we're going to work on the trees. Zoomed in a little bit here for you. And I'm taking one of the mini detail blending brushes from Kat Scrappiness, and I'm just going to do some detail blending here on these birch trees, because birch trees do have this kind of grayish brown color on them, especially in those little notched areas on this die cut. The notched areas kind of represent those grooves in the birch trees. And so I'm using some Hickory Smoke here to shade those areas, and then along the sides of the birch trees just to give them a little bit of definition and shading. And I'm just kind of doing this quickly. It's pretty easy to do, and these detail blending brushes are absolutely perfect for this job. So when I got done with the Hickory Smoke, I really just didn't feel like this was the perfect color for this. And last time I used this dye, somebody had recommended that I use Hickory Smoke instead of whatever the two colors that I used before. But I don't know. It was kind of showing up. Maybe I still had blue on my mat. Maybe I didn't clean it up good enough. But I felt like it was kind of a bluish gray instead of a tannish gray like I thought it was supposed to be. So I came in with some Frayed Burlap and went over the Hickory Smoke, and I was much happier with that color. So that's what I'm doing here, is just finishing up with the Frayed Burlap, and I was much happier with that. So I'm just going to put that back over my die cut, make sure that I'm happy with that. At least I believe I'm going to. Maybe I didn't. Oh, yep, I did. All right. Sometimes I forget what I did when I go back and watch this when I'm doing my voiceover. So now I'm using one of the pieces from the Crafters Essentials Winter Dies. It's got this this deer, it's got some trees, and then it's got a cover plate die that's got some like snowflakes and some swirly bits that I believe are supposed to represent wind. Anyway, so I'm taking this this deer here, and I'm adding some shading to it. Now, why I wasn't using the detailed blending brush, I don't know. But see here, I switched to it because I wised up. Sometimes I just don't think. I don't know. Anyway, so this was much easier with the detail blending brush because I'm not going to smush or crunch his legs and his little antlers there. Much easier. That bigger blending brush, even though it's a really small blending brush too, it just wasn't small enough, and I was having to be really careful with his legs and his antlers there. All right, so this is that cover plate die from the Crafters Essentials Winter Die set that I was talking about. I don't know how well you can see the snowflakes and the little bits, the little like windy bits and stuff on there, because it's white and my lights are kind of bright and whatnot. But I'm just taking my blending brush here and putting some Salty Ocean over top of it to make it so it's easier to see that. You can see it in person, obviously, but I just like to sometimes ink blend over these things just to make it pop a little bit more. So I'm just taking the blending brush and just very, very, very lightly touching the paper just so the raised bits are getting some ink and the flat bits are not, even though it I ended up getting some on the flatbeds too, but that's all right. We are handmade, not Hallmark. So now I'm just taking my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive here, and I'm just going to start assembling the card. I'm going to put the heart in the upper third portion here and glue that down. And then I'm going to take the outside portion of the heart, the stitched portion here. And this is why this die would be really great for shaker cards, but that's not what I made today. I'm really not a big shaker card person, and I know that there's going to be people that are like, wow, that's not cool, and probably disown me, but I'm not a big shaker card person. I make them every once in a while, but it's a very rare every once in a while. But I still think this die can be used for several different things, as you can see here. So now we're going to lay those birch trees in the center of the, well, in the piece of the heart that it belongs in, that it fits in here. And I think that this is kind of a fun way to stretch your dies. I like that I was able to cut that heart out of the birch trees and make it fit here. I think that this would make a really good masculine card. I'm going to make it a birthday card. I think I'm going to send it to my grandpa for his birthday. His birthday is in January. So I think that this would make a good winter birthday card. And with the deer and whatnot, I think it would make it kind of masculine. You'll have to let me know what you think, if this is a good masculine birthday card or not. All right, so now we're going to work on our sentiment. So I pulled out the Happy Day stamp set. This stamp set's really cool because you can build your own sentiment, like happy birthday, happy Valentine's Day, happy Christmas. There's all kinds of happies in there, all kinds of happy days. You can even do happy day. So there's all kinds of different sentiments in there. I love sentiment stamp sets so that you can build your own sentiment. They are some of my favorites. So now we're going to take the boxed sentiment strip and cut this out because I cannot cut straight for the life of me. So things like this really help me. So I cut that piece out and then I shifted the die over and I cut the other side, but I lost that footage so I can't show you. But it's pretty easy to do. So that's how I cut my sentiments out if I need to. I really am not good at cutting straight with a trimmer. It's not something that I'm good at. It is not a skill I possess. All right, so I did ink blend the edges of that with just some leftover ink on my blending brush, and then I glued that down. We're just going to put the card front onto the card base with my favorite liquid adhesive, which is Nuvo Deluxe. And this fits perfectly onto an A2 card base. Just going to put my stamp positioner on that while it dries, and through the magic of editing, that is dry and done. So to jazz this up just a little bit more, I'm going to pull out my triangle embellishment tray and use some of the Winter Sky clay sprinkles. And I like to use a Distress Collage medium for gluing down things like this because the collage medium adheres to lots of different kinds of surfaces. And so I feel like gluing embellishments down with this adhesive is better. I just have better luck with gluing embellishments down with the collage medium. So just going to get these last few sprinkles on there, and this finishes up my card for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. The links will be in the description box below if you are watching this on YouTube. If you are on the Kat Scrappiness blog, the links will also be below the video. They just will not be in the description box. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a great day.